Fat Joe and Jalen Rose sit down and have a real street talk. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome to the show, Jalen Rose, Hall of Famer, All-Star. You got busy.
Thank you, family.
No. One thing I can tell you about Jalen Rose, because I hated you for a while because you was against my Knicks. You got busy.
Thank you.
And you came in every night and you worked hard every night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know what? I didn't get all of the awards, but if you knew where I live and how many zeros I got in my bank account, I got all of the rewards. Shout out to T Grizzly. Thank you guys very much. And 2 careers. See, here's what happens, Joe. And we do this to each other too. We try to act like only like 4 or 5 black are successful and are champions in their career. So at what you do, like we brothers and I love you and you're doing a great job transitioning to multimedia, but I'm a fan of yours, dog. You've been on like 25, 30 years. I remember when you and Pun did that verse with Snoop right after the East-West Coast beef. That was like...
All right, this is a Joker moment. That's how we single-handedly shout out to Breon. Breon, not for nothing, Breon. You battled Ty last night with the old school music. You kind of got smoked, Breon. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it was amazing. So now, we kind of bridged the East Coast, West Coast gap with that. And we squashed the beef. And then I asked Snoop to be in the video. He got in the video. And then that just further let everybody know New York and LA can work together. Shout out to Mac 10 and them. And, you know, I won't go too far. Right, Jalen? And I've never said this before. And this is a Joker moment. But Fat Joe is possibly the only New York East Coast guy who actually went to war physically with the West Coast. Physically. I'll leave it at that. After that, they called for a peace summit in Farrakhan's house. I'm going to give you another Joker moment. They invited all the New York rappers. The only ones who showed up was Fat Joe and Dougie Fresh. When we got there, the whole West Coast was in there. Anybody you name. Mac 10, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, the whole Das Corrupt, everybody was in there. And I spoke up because I don't need you understand what I'm saying, Taylor? I don't need a posse. I don't need I'm ready to at any time. And so I go in there and I had words with them and I told them, and I'm gonna tell you something. I had told, and I love them, and God bless them, but I had told Ice Cube, when he left NWA, he came to New York to make his album.
Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad made his album. I remember when he performed at the Apollo, we sung every word. And I'm like, yo, Cube, you can't possibly be trying to divide East Coast and West Coast. We love you. Like,
right.
I was so mad. Because, I mean, okay, Mac 10 was saying West Side and all that. Okay. But Cube? So I'm like, and from that day, that's where I met Mac 10. He said, man, I love you. You're a real one. He said, come out to LA. And I had beef. Like, I mean, beef. Like, I mean, they wanted to me in LA. There's just no, I got to write that in the book. They wanted to me and on site. And so I went out there to shoot this movie with him, Thicker Than Water. And the second I got there, Mac 10 came to the hotel and he said, listen, brother, they want to. Once I'm in LA, at this time I didn't even fly, I went in the tour bus. I went with 9 of my strongest guys, right? We were strapped beyond belief, right? So, but I wanted to prove to him I wasn't a punk, so I went out there to shoot the movie. Brother, when I tell you every single day they came and said, yo, stay in the stay in the what you call it, stay in the trailer. Somebody might possibly turn the corner and shoot the trailer. People want to get at me. Bad.
So
I'm not going to continue the rest of the story, but thank God, 2020, we are completely in peace. And the whole dumb to me anyway. East Coast, West Coast.
yes,
We all black people, brown people.
yes.
We all American. That never made no sense when you really think about it. And I love them, and we're family. Like the Snoop Dogg hits me every day. Thank God. He's my brother. But it's like I went through some shit making that movie.
You did. You did.
You have to put hands on people. We have to do all type of we don't want to do. You know, and to this day, Inglewood is my family in LA. Mac 10 OG Muggs, the Inglewood. That's me. So,
no doubt. And
yeah.
but here's the thing. So a lot of young artists hear terms and don't realize that those terms that relate to crews become rap artists, not the other way around. So I remember being a young hip hop fan and coming to New York and realizing that BDP was for Boogie Down Productions, but they could also be Beat Down Productions.
Oh yeah, they had I just watched my Unsung, right? But I really got to talk to you. I mean, this is fascinating.
Right?
No, this is fascinating, but I got to talk sports with you, but
make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
The Terror Squad.
That's where I was going. That was next. I was going to you. Hold on. Let me just say one thing before you go. Because everybody gets to see the in-shape Fat Joe and all of these cars with suicide doors and all of that. Like, I'm happy that you so very rich and you so accomplished and you such an adult and you such a leader in our community. I want to use you as an example of growth, because I remember that the Terror Squad meant just that. It meant just that. Like, you guys are really good rappers, and you guys had so many bars. And Big Pun, rest in peace to the legend. I love him.
Bless.
And you put so many people in the game. We'll talk about that later. But at the same time, it wasn't just like, oh, okay, you're gonna disrespect on Wax, and then you're gonna come to New York and do a show. That was not happening. And one last thing, you talked about the LA part. I remember when you located to Florida too, because I started living down there around the same time. And let me just tell you something. There was one time I was leaving a spot, Washington Boulevard, bed, and I was kind of slipping. I can't even front. This is the truck, jewels, everything. And I walked down the corner. I thought I was going to jump a cab. And a couple of cats thought I was slipping. They was about to walk up on me. You don't remember this. You got out the car. You got out the car. Walked like 50 steps like, he's good. He wasn't me. You probably don't even remember this, dog.
Hey, let me tell you something, Jalen, but it sounded like Fat Joe. And I care about my people so much and I respect my people so much that I'm willing to put my life on the line for it.
You did it that day. You did it that day.
I
You got
wasn't
out of the
playing.
car. I didn't say one of your homies. I didn't say somebody in your crew. I'm walking down the street, and anybody know about the bling bling era when we was walking 2 chains, 2 watches, 2 bracelets. I was slipping. It was 2:30 in Miami.
Yo, Jalen, let me tell you something.
Going to get in the cab.
Let me tell you something. It never was the crew. I never let nobody do nothing for me. I never told nobody, yo, go beat that guy up or this or this. It always had to be me. And I'll tell you why. Y'all want to hear a real street jewel? Because Jalen, I try to talk basketball. He trying to turn this into, that's good. That's why you one of the greatest journalists, one of the greatest commentators. It's really good what you're doing here, right? But I really don't give a so I tell the people. You may have homies that are capable of doing anything. And I don't want to scare the public. They could become violent in 1 second, and especially rap artists and the youth, if y'all want to listen. Everybody becomes successful, and all of a sudden the tough guys hang out with them. And by choice or by extortion, however, they find it, and all of a sudden
a lot of people claiming people that they paying every month. Go ahead, please continue.
And so they say, yo, homeboy got booty boo with him, man. He's this and he's that. And I'm like, yeah, all right? So me, although I had guys that are fly, I literally, and I'm not going to lie to you, I literally have had guys that would jump off the roof if I told them to. No boy. It's a lot of power.
I know this.
I moved out of New York because I was actually too powerful. And I said to myself, this is going to end up bad. Someone throws a paper towel at Fat Joe, they're going to kill on Madison Square Garden. I got to get out of here. I work too hard to be legit, to take care of my family, to this. I can't do it, right? But a real leader never sends his people to get locked up or suicide missions. And at that, these so-called tough guys can't wait to do something for you so they can hold it over your head for the rest of your life.
Forever.
That's why I've never let no so-called
you remember
tough
20
guy.
years ago, 30 years ago, that night in February 14th, I did this for you? Dog, you owe me. I know you with your son, your daughter, your wife, your mom, your grandma, but dog, can you wire me this? You ain't keeping it real. You ain't holding it down, Fat Joe.
Over. And for me, I've never been extorted in my life. And I'll tell you one story that Lisa, I love you. The first Latina
I love
ever
her
to do
too.
R&B to ever listen, Lisa, man. I want to give you your flowers. You opened the door. You was before J-Lo. You was before Rosie Perez. You were the biggest superstar. You still are. But thank you for checking up on the show, Lisa. I love you. And I got to have you on the show soon. And Jalen, if you allow me to. And Jalen, where we was at just before I seen Lisa, I lost my mind. I wonder if I take you home.
Just so you know, I do that all of the time. It happens.
But what I'm saying, Jalen, what was the story I was about to tell? What I was telling them?
So we were talking about.
Oh, you owe me, and this and this and that. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. There's 2 things that never happened to me. And please, everybody, don't hate me and think I'm lying to you. Jalen Rose got me talking some super real shit, and it might be even too real for the Fat Joe show, but I'm gonna kick it to you. 2 things I've never been. The main one is approach to ever rat anybody in my life. The police has never even offended me by saying, Joe, do you know what happened? Or Joe, did your man, they've never offended me by asking me to be a rat and tell. They know this is old school. Throw him in the cell. He not going. Like, leave him alone. His lawyer be here in an hour. Whatever. Thank God I've never been approached in my life to be disgusted. Number two, I've never been extorted in my life. So, but and what I'm trying to tell you is, and extortion, guys, is totally a regular thing in the rap community.
Yes.
When you see these guys, you think that there's friend, the master, Zelo, and that's all bullshit. They in their pockets. Now, Jalen, Raul, I love you. One day, Jalen, I can't tell you where. One day, I got 100 guys with me. I'm in a club in New York. 100 is a minimum, right? I walk in the bathroom. This might be too crazy. So, Jalen, you know you ought to stop me if I'm going too bad.
You're not going too crazy. I got to remind you something. We're the same age. I've been at multiple places with Fat Joe and Terror Squad in New York City, Los Angeles, California, and Miami, Florida. Please continue.
Yeah, but I don't want to scare people because I've been about positivity. In a second, Khaled's gonna jump up on here and stop me. Listen, I got 100 guys with me, literally 100. I walk in the bathroom. There's a cock diesel Spanish Puerto Rican guy. He's taking a piss. The bathroom has a mirror, nothing. I walk up. I go to take a piss. I'm by myself. 100 outside the door. So be careful. People think they tough. This happened to me when I got too. You might have 100 guys, but when you turn that corner, you by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When Roy Jones was gonna beat me up, I had 150 guys. I turned that corner. I was by myself. When Roy said, "You want to fight?"
I remember that.
Hey, I had 150 guys. I turned the corner by myself.
Roy was playing basketball games and fighting on the same day.
You want to fight? So I go, and I ain't gonna lie, Roy Jones would have beat me up. But listen,
but that was a hit record, dog.
That was a hit record. I love Roy Jones, but look, so I walk in the bathroom, cock diesel, looked like he came from jail 1 day ago. So he looks to me, he goes,
1 day ago.
No, for real. You know
right.
when them guys look like they just came home? And I'm pissed. He was like, "Oh my God, just the guy I've been looking for." Yo, Nori, you got to hear this one. He was like, "Just the guy I've been looking for." And I said, "Really? What's up, my brother? How you doing?" He said, "No." He said, "I did 10 years. I said, "Oh, word? 10 whole years." He was talking to me mad, like it's almost my fault or whatever. 10 years in
the judge.
Listen, like I'm the judge. So I'm like, word? And he was like, and I've been reading these magazines. I think you're a liar. I said, excuse me? He said, I read these magazines. They talk about how you some tough guy, ex-killer, you beat people up. I don't believe you. Right? So I'm by myself in the back. I'm like, really? He said, and we can do this 2 ways. You could pay me, or I could get down with you however you want it. But I want mine. I did 10 years. So he was telling me, like, I got to extort him. I got to pay him because he did 10 years. I don't know this guy. So
and he don't know you clearly.
I look at the guy, Jalen, and it was like Zen. I got so happy. I said, wow. I've finally been approached to be, wow.
I'm a normal human being. I'm a civilian.
Listen, Jalen, I said, I'm a human being. Wow. This is great.
normal human being. He doesn't
Jalen, I'm gonna tell you
know
something.
anything about my history or anything.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, Jalen. The Terror Squad, they talk about me every day. Every one of them. Joe, he got all the money. He don't care. He don't this. All of them. They're all my brothers. They'll talk in my face. They'll talk behind my back. They'll tell their wife. They all talk. It's cool.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I didn't know, but like somebody was doing the number 2 and the door opened. Now let me tell you something, Jalen. It's one thing to disrespect. They could disrespect me all day, but to hear a person disrespect Joe, the Don Carter Jr., it's so different. It's like, so my man, I'll tell you what it is, Serge, DJ Serge. The door cracks open. Remember, it's a mirror. The door cracks open from the, what we call that? The shit or whatever. The door. And he's holding on. These guys are animals, Jalen. He's holding on to the wall like, and his tears in his eyes. Like, he couldn't believe this guy was talking to me like that. He was like, you know when you scream inside when you can't hear it? And he's like, and we whipped this dude's bro so bad. Hey Jalen, this guy drank the water from the toilet.
Ooh. So
he got so washed. I had never seen him. He learned something in that bathroom.
So I have to ask you an important question. So thank you everybody for joining. I don't mean to interview Fat Joe on his own platform, but we're the same age and he's a legend. So I have to ask him questions because you guys get a chance to see a mature, disciplined, responsible, money in the bank, life insurance. You know, he has a will. Like, yeah. That guy. And so I appreciate the growth, but I have to ask questions because there are so many people that are where you used to be and hope to grow there. And you're a great example to me. And so I want to ask you this. How were you able to transition from being an artist that had like #1 records, like anthems, but you were just as known for who you were away from being an artist? Can you give encouragement to the young people and show them that they can graduate from the street life and chase their art and kind of be a beacon for entertainment the way you've become?
Shout out to the legend, the living legend, Melba Moore on the check-in. Miss Melba Moore, you are a legend.
No doubt. Melba Moore here? Yo, that's
Melba Moore's on here. She's
dope.
a legend. She is an icon, and I love you.
I do too. I love who that is as well. Dope.
Now, Jalen, I'm going to tell you something. I've always been a sweetheart. I've always been a nice guy. And I really want my audience, everybody to understand this. When I grew up in the Bronx, I was telling my daughter this the other day. I was so smart. They had me in a class called IGC, Intellectual Gifted Child. And I wasn't the smartest. I was always #2. There was this girl I used to compete with. Her name was Candace Stallings, and she would win every time. But I was the runner-up. I would have been a nice guy anywhere else. Where I grew up in an all-black neighborhood. I had blonde hair like the Beatles and green eyes. When I look at the pictures with me and 50 black kids and Fat Joe, the only Spanish one looking like a Beatle, I don't know how the hell my mother had me in this neighborhood. No, I swear to God. Like, I'm like, what the f? Ain't this the elephant in the room? Like,
Because you can hold your
notice?
own. Because you can hold your own.
Listen. But nobody ever treated me. This is the problem. This is why I try to tell woke and so-called woke society. Jalen, I'm not lying to you. Do your history. I'm from the soil. I'm the bottom of, I'm with my people. And what they need to understand is I grew up, nobody ever treated me like he's the white with green eyes or the Spanish guy. That's Joey. And it loved me to this day. I could go back with $1 million jury in the middle of my projects and spend the night on the bench and they would protect me. It's my hood.
That's dope. That means more than anything in life.
Jalen, so I go like this. I got bullied. I went to school in another neighborhood. Ain't like my neighborhood. They didn't even understand me. I'm gonna keep it real with you. We keeping it too real here. You know, so I grew up 99% black. I grew up Joey. Everybody knows who I am. But I get in trouble, they make me go to school by my grandmother's block. Now, if there's a such thing as 100% black, it's there. So I go to Washington and Webster Avenue. Y'all know what I'm talking about, BX. Y'all watching, y'all know what I'm talking about. Never been a Spanish dude to have juice in that neighborhood. To this day, there's never been one Spanish guy that you could say, yo, Spanish Ricky had juice up. Nah, bro. I go to school, junior high school, V-bomber hat to the back. I'm diddy bopping. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? They like, oh, wait a minute. We've never seen this. We're not having this.
But Joe, you also had weapons and other things with you as well.
I'm talking about junior, but the point is, okay. I got beat up.
Okay.
Every single day. Anybody who's watching here and went to junior high school with Fat Joe, you saw me get my whipped every single day by 20 guys.
20?
20. It was like, yeah, let's go beat up Joey again. If you look at my Thanksgiving picture, anything you want to look at, I had a black eye and a big lip. They abused me. But let me tell you something, Jalen. I went out there every day and I fought the 20 guys by myself. I punched the toughest one in his face first and they will pound me out. And I keep it moving. And that taught me, I didn't know, because God, unfortunately, everybody has a different path.
And youngsters out there, snuff the big one means I'm going to hit the toughest one, the loudest, hardest I can.
Raul, I love you. And you know it's true.
I'm going to roll out means if I have to bounce and run, I'll do that too.
It means knuckle up. So I would go get beat up and then go home or whatever, right? And so the point is, it turned me into who I was. I'll tell you another story that I never told nobody. This is a beyond joker moment. It's in my book. I don't want to spoil it, but we talking real. I had a best friend. His name was Leonard. My mother fed him every lunchtime. He was my brother. He was in the school with me. One day, the 20 kids stopped him. And they stopped me. And they tell him, Leonard, why are you with this guy all the time? He's a punk, he's whatever. And Leonard said, he's my friend. And they told him, you better jump him with us, or we gonna you up every day like we do him. And my boy Leonard jumped me with them.
No. It's crazy because we get approached with stupid stuff like that. Like, in Detroit, I had things that I was approached with like that as well. And he agreed to it.
He folded. He beat me up with them. And let me tell you something, Len. Let me tell you something, Jalen. I'll never forget that day. I went home and I cried for about 12 hours straight.
Yeah, because they lumped you up and one of the dudes you thought was your man.
My brother I love. Listen to me, Jalen. I went home and I cried 12 hours straight.
I've been lumped up.
But it's so much betrayal.
I've been lumped up a couple of times. I know exactly what you mean.
Jalen, I had a black hood on, black jeans, and some chuckers, Timberland chuckers. And I tied my shoestring over 1,000 times, and I cried for hours. And I said, that's it. No more. I don't care about nobody. I don't care about human life. It is over. And that day, the legend of Joey Crack, Terror Squad, began. They forced me. I went through a lot to be a nice kid, to be a smart kid. I forgot to tell you, I got skipped 2 classes from 7th to 9th grade. 2 grades. And they forced me. And then I didn't care. And the more devastation I created, the more power I had, the more people influenced, the more people this, and I start robbing. I don't want to glorify that, right? But Raul knows. Raul knows. Billy knows. Billy was in my first homeroom. The first day of high school, I walked to my high school with 300 guys. Remember, I was getting my with in junior high. High school, I walked to the first day orientation with 300 guys behind me. And everybody looked like, who's that? And I heard the girl say, who's that? And it was like, Joey Crack, TS. Joey Crack, TS. Oh, my God. Yo, and I'm walking through there, and I don't want to tell you what happened. We beat everybody up first day because we didn't care. And that was what you would call going viral. It wasn't social media. It wasn't video. It wasn't. That went viral around the Bronx. Like, yo, there's this Spanish kid.
Joe, you didn't go viral.
300 guys with him.
You want reality, sir. People have 300 people walking behind them to do whatever.
No, we went
you
viral.
Want reality.
In the early 80s, it was not. So I went through so much, right? When I went into the rap game, so I left, I was pretty. And I'm not lying, guys in the Bronx, y'all in front of y'all want. We was doing really well in the streets. All my friends, Billy Blanco caught 20 years, the Pure Energy crew.
From the Bronx.
The Willis Lynch mob, the Cypress crew. Everybody was going to jail. They created the RICO law. Everybody was going to jail for like 60 years, 20 years. Oh, my best friend is doing life.
And those charges was dumb as hell. Please continue.
They still in jail, right? So I changed my life. I said, I'm going to be a rapper. All my whole life, I was a gangster, one of the most respected. All these gangsters I was going up to was laughing at me. Rapper, you ain't going to be no fucking rapper, especially you Spanish. Ain't no Spanish. Are you on, Joe? I said, look, I don't want nothing to do with the game. I'm going to go legit. I went to Apollo Theater. I won 4 weeks in a row. And then I got...
Whoa. So here's what happens, and you almost did it. You are such a street legend. You make us overlook your rap accomplishments. Just think about what you just said. You won Apollo multiple times in a row. I've been to Apollo.
Oh.
I don't mean to show my age. I've been a Detroit kid buying a ticket at the Apollo, sitting in the Apollo, and they do not play.
Oh, no. They do not play.
They do not play. They don't like your fingernails. They don't like your hairstyle. They don't like the first word you say. Like, that's the toughest crowd in my life.
And what I'm trying to tell you is, I am blessed. I try to look back to Apollo and say, why did I win? Like, I walked in there and it was 100 groups. And I remember looking at them. I said, these guys ain't got a chance. And I walked out. Shout out Michelle, Barbara, everybody for my backup dancers from I had a song that was called He's a Big Shot. Fat Joe is a big shot. He's a big shot.
I gotta tell you something. Rest in peace to Heavy D. That's my brother. I love him. I was actually in Atlanta with him maybe 30 days before he passed away. And I love him. That's my brother. He always had hits. The Overweight Lover. You were a street version of him to people that didn't live in New York. So you were able to give like those big radio suburban kids like records, but you also had like the street cred that it was like, hey, you know what? Joe Crack, if he's unhappy and you coming to do a performance in New York, then you might get rushed off stage. That happened with BDP and PM Dawn.
Yeah,
you were
God bless
version,
PM Dawn, and I love them too, but KRS my idol, he ran them all.
Right?
But let me explain. I want to tell you something, Jalen. Fat Joe is a cheap version of Heavy D.
I just discovered something.
Let me tell you something.
Did I ever say that to you?
No, yes, you are, but I even told Puff, I tell everybody, Heavy D inspired me so much.
I knew that. You the gangster Heavy D. I've been saying that for 25 years.
I dress like him. I want to style like him. I make girl records like him. I used to do the Heavy D dances. I'm going to tell you something. I came out with my first single, Flow Joe.
Let it flow, Joe. Let it flow, Joe.
I came out with Flow Joe. And I was at a party. It was at Tavern on the Green. Another bathroom moment. I was taking a piss. And I turned around and this holy.
Yo, you don't care about this, but as somebody that's not from New York, I came to New York. It was some black, Spanish, brown, so many different languages, women. I was like, yo, I just want to kick it with somebody that don't speak English. That was my goal. Please continue.
Jalen, so I turned around, there's Heavy D in the bathroom. And he looks at me and says, you got to flow, Joe. You got to flow, Joe. And I was like, that broke me down. I was like, oh my God, Heavy D knows me. And I hung out with him that night and we went to eat dinner. And he was just such a great guy. He was my friend till
he's a legend.
Oh, no. Fat Joe was a wannabe Heavy D.
So how about this? There are like 500 million MCs. If I compare you to Heavy D, it kind of means that I'm paying attention to Fat Joe and Heavy D. And so what I want to ask you is, how were you able to continue? And by the way, I love you. You my brother. I'm on your feed. But like,
we the biggest in the game, but go on.
Yes, but like your validity for people in the street allowed them to come to New York and do shows and make records. Mm-hmm. How, for you, was it to balance between being a person that was able to stop people from doing shows in New York City? Joe, I know this. I love you. You my brother.
It was a time.
You got a great beard. You got a great hairline. You my brother. I love you. You're not encouraging anything negative. I'm just saying. I'm just acknowledging your growth. So how was it from being that
I tell you something. 50 Cent's my brother. I love him. He's a good friend. We squashed our beef. But when 50 Cent sold 30 million records and was the hottest guy in the world, he wasn't allowed. You never heard his record in a club in Miami. It wasn't allowed.
Oof.
So while it was going, what up, blood? Boom, what up, this? What up,
gangsta?
When he was the hottest guy, Michael Jackson, they would not play his record in the city of Miami. On the radio or in the clubs.
So that's you guys' viral clip forever. Please continue.
But 50's my brother and I love him.
Me too.
Ever since we made the bond, rest in peace, Chris Lighty, we have been brothers. And so that's over. But at the time, it was warfare. 50 Cent stopped a lot of my money too when we was warring. I was going to be the first rapper to have a Jordan sneaker.
No.
I met with Michael Jordan maybe 6-7 times. You could confirm, you know them. Reggie, you know Larry Miller. Everybody was designing the sneaker.
That's the crew.
We were designing the sneaker. I had meetings with nobody else but Michael Jordan. When that beef blew up, you know Michael Jordan is real clean cut. And he said, Joe, you know I love you, Big Joe, but you too hot right now. Like this controversy and this and that, we can't do the sneaker no more. I had to handle that.
Joe, that took like a lot of figures out of your pocket, Joe. How did you deal with that, sir?
Oh, I dealt with all that forever, man. With me, I'm just
that's like
you don't want beef with 50 Cent.
I see a $20 bill. I might push somebody out of the way for it, but Joe, you lost like $10 million on that deal, sir.
I lost a lot more.
I know how these numbers work.
And now so I'm gonna tell you the entry level. I become an artist.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I never bullied my way or anybody to do a song with me or put pressure on anybody. I earned it musically. Whatever hit I made, I earned it. I made it myself. Nobody gave me hits. I made it myself. Exactly. But because I had this reputation coming from the streets and all that, people were scared of me in the industry.
Can I tell you something, Joe? So you can sleep so good tonight. You can sleep so good tonight. You can turn on your steam shower. You can turn it on as hot as you want. Put your vapors in there, all of that. Can I tell you something?
Yes, sir.
You earned it.